This is going to be a video from 6 weeks ago of the placenta. So I am giving y'all a minute. Look away if you do not want to see like real live placenta. I mean live meaning immediately after it's come out of its mom's womb. Don't look because I'm going to show you placenta. Placenta. Okay? Now I'm literally going to pause for a minute and give you one more second. No, really, if you don't want to see the placenta, you don't want to see this video, okay? But if you do, you should watch. Okay, bye. Okay, we're looking at a placenta. So when you have the baby, placenta, this is what the baby gets to grow and get nourished from. So the baby is in the sac, the amniotic sac. So the baby is in here. This, imagine, is a whole balloon, and when the water breaks, this is the part that breaks, the membrane, the amniotic membrane. This is the surface that is up against the uterus. So these are all parts of the placenta. These are called cotyledons, which are little areas and like lobes of the placenta. You can see tiny little white spots. Those are calcifications. That just means this placenta was a little bit over 40 weeks and it's starting to be done with doing its work. And then inside, the baby would grow inside this whole sac. Imagine if this was a balloon, because it was closed before the water broke. And then the umbilical cord was attached to the baby, right? And so there's 3 blood vessels in here. There's 2 arteries and 1 vein. But amazing, can you imagine that your body grows a whole baby and a whole placenta, and then this just gets thrown away, done. But like your body grows an organ. And this is about 500 grams, so about a pound. Amazing, right? Crazy. Bye. And now, here's the truth. Some people don't throw it away. They either do cord blood banking, they do placental banking to save stem cells. I can talk about it at some point. Some people do placental encapsulation. I could talk about that. Some people take it home ceremonially because there are cultures that will bury it, for example. Those are things people do. But isn't it amazing? It's like a whole organ that our body grows. It's crazy.
Hi, everybody. Okay. If you are not the type who wants to see blood, look away. Or something that looks like a big piece of liver. Because I'm about to show you a placenta. This is actually, on one hand, a beautiful placenta because the way the baby came out when the water was broken, meaning the amniotic membrane when the water broke, didn't kind of make the entire membrane burst in a bunch of different places where it looks like fragments. So you're going to see, you can really see the sac. On the other hand, this particular mom may have had what's called an abruption, where part of the placenta detaches earlier than it should have. So you'll see a blood clot that looks a little bit older, meaning blood, when it's come out and it sits, it will coagulate. That's a blood clot, not the type that's in your leg that's dangerous, but just a clot, a coagulation, little collection of blood that sat there. Often after the delivery, while we're waiting for the placenta, there'll be some blood that's pooled in the vagina even, and that will clot, but that will look fresher. This particular clot looks older, just from its color and its appearance. So given her circumstances, I suspect she had something called an abruption. That part of the placenta is not great, but I'll show you the parts that are. The placenta is amazing. Your body, if you have a baby, grows an entire person and a placenta, an organ that you no longer need, and it gets thrown away. So, can you see this? Look at this. So it literally looks like a big piece of liver. It's about the size of a plate, about typically around 9 inches across, literally just like a dinner plate. All right, now all these lobules of the placenta are called cotyledons. It's a weird word. Cotyledon, C-O-T-Y-L-E-D-O-N, cotyledon. This surface was attached to mom's uterus, the inside of mom's uterus, and then the blood goes across these little surfaces, and oxygen, nutrients, all the things go to the baby. This is where you can really see the sac. Do you see that? So when the water broke, you can see, here's the umbilical cord. So when mom's water broke, the baby was originally inside the sac. Imagine this like a balloon. It was all closed up, filled with amniotic fluid, which, by the way, is baby pee. People forget that. Amniotic fluid is baby pee. Let that digest if you didn't know. The baby swallows the fluid, pees it out. Swallows the fluid, pees it out. Amniotic fluid is baby pee. It's sterile, it's clean, it's not pee like ours, but it's baby pee. Okay, so the baby's inside the sac, right? Imagine it's a balloon all filled with fluid, and then when the water breaks, and by the way, this would be inside the sac as well, right? Because the umbilical cord is attached to attached to the baby. And then when the water breaks, that's where a little hole becomes inside here. The water comes out, and then the baby is still inside the uterus. So this is the uterine surface. That's where the baby is. This is the amniotic membrane, this whole thing. The amniotic membrane has 2 layers to it that are really fused and attached, the amnion and the chorion. And then this is the umbilical cord. So if I flip this inside out, now you can see this was the baby's side. This is the inside of the surface where the baby is. This is attached right in the middle, so that's where the umbilical cord is supposed to be, right in the middle. Sometimes the umbilical cord can be off to the side. It's called a marginal insertion. This one was perfectly fine right in the middle. And then the other end of the umbilical cord was attached to the baby. You can't see it very well because this part was cut, but umbilical cords will have 2 arteries and 1 vein that lead from the baby into the placenta. Hi, honey. We're doing a little video. Hi, Kat. We're doing a video. Okay, now the part that looks like it had abrupted, we call it, there is an area that's harder to see on here, but I'll show you the clot where it just almost looks like a separate placenta, right? But this is just blood clot, and it's very thick and it's very organized. It's not easy for me to take this apart, as opposed to kind of a fresher little clot that I could easily kind of disintegrate. But these older clots look darker and thicker. So I suspect she did based on her clinical picture, which is she walked in bleeding heavily. And again, that part in the placenta looks like an abruption. So, beautiful, healthy looking placenta, but for the fact that it separated too early. That was last evening when she came in bleeding in labor at only 1 centimeter. And here we have it today, 24 hours later, she delivered a beautiful, healthy baby. Abruptions can be concerning, but they can also end well. So it depends, just like everything else. There's no single one right answer. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed our little placenta tutorial. Isn't it amazing? It's a placenta. It's a whole organ. Your body grows a baby, a human, and an organ. That's it. Then it gets thrown away. Amazing. Crazy.